Hello, beautiful listeners, and welcome back to Green Earth Essentials, the podcast where we explore the natural, the holistic, and the deeply interconnected. I'm Michelle Jackson, your host on this path to wellness, where plants, science, and self discovery all meet in one place, where we look for the root causes behind the things that frustrate, confuse, or exhaust us, and we find solutions that feel doable in real life, not just on paper. Today, we're diving into something almost everyone struggles with at some point: skin that just won't cooperate. Breakouts, redness, irritation, texture changes. These things can be maddening, especially when you're doing all the right things. The interesting twist is that the real story often begins far beneath the surface. Your skin is one of the most expressive organs you have, and when it's inflamed or reactive, it's usually trying to tell you what's happening deeper in the body. That's exactly what we're unraveling today. The real root causes no one talks about: the gut-skin axis, barrier repair versus product overload, quiet hormonal loops, unexpected food triggers, the role of stress, and those gentle antimicrobial botanicals that support healing rather than strip it away. When all these pieces click, your skin stops feeling like a puzzle and starts feeling like something you can finally understand and support. By the time we reach the end, you will have a simple 7-day skin reset plan to help heal your skin. It's nothing complicated or pricey, just a clear, practical way to start seeing real changes fast. It takes the insights from this episode and turns them into something you can actually apply, helping them make a real difference in your skin and your routine. If you'd like to read along or share this episode with someone who needs it, you can find the full transcript on my Substack at Green Earth Essentials. The link is waiting for you right in the episode description. Let's start peeling back the layers of what your skin is really trying to say. The gut is easily one of the most underrated power centers of the entire body. Inside that winding stretch of tissue is an entire universe, trillions of microbes, all living, communicating, competing, and cooperating in ways we're only beginning to understand. Think of it as a bustling ecosystem, like a rainforest or a coral reef, except the weather in this ecosystem influences your hormones, immune response, mood, and yes, the clarity and behavior of your skin. When this internal ecosystem falls out of balance, your skin often becomes the megaphone. Stress can thin the gut lining and shift the microbiome. Antibiotics wipe out good bacteria right alongside the bad. Processed foods create inflammation that lingers much longer than the meal itself. and chronic stress, those long stretches when your nervous system never quite gets a break, turns the gut into a pressure cooker. Your body has to vent that pressure somewhere, and the skin is one of its favorite outlets. That's why people often notice eczema flaring after food poisoning, or acne spiking during a stressful month, or rosacea lighting up when digestion is off. The gut and the skin are in constant conversation. When one is inflamed, the other very often follows. The beautiful thing is that the gut responds quickly to kindness. Fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, and kefir help replenish beneficial bacteria. A steady stream of fiber gives those microbes the food they need to thrive. Drinking a bit more water sounds almost too simple, but hydration literally helps move inflammation out of the body. Even gentle herbs, peppermint, ginger, fennel, can soothe digestive tension within a day or two. Supporting the gut isn't flashy. There's no quick dopamine hit from it, but it's one of the most reliable ways to calm the skin from the inside out. When your gut feels safe, stable, and nourished, the skin often mirrors that stability right back to you. Let's keep going deeper, because once you understand the gut, the next piece, the skin barrier, is where everything really starts to click. If your gut is the internal ecosystem, then your skin barrier is the protective wall that keeps that ecosystem safe. Picture a medieval city surrounded by a strong stone fortress. When the wall is intact, the city thrives. Trade flows, people rest, life is calm. But when the wall cracks or crumbles, every little thing becomes a threat. A gust of cold wind feels harsh. Dust becomes irritating. Even the gentlest product suddenly stings. That's exactly what happens when the skin barrier breaks down. Moisture escapes, irritants sneak in, inflammation ramps up, and your skin becomes reactive to almost everything. The tricky part is that most people don't realize how easy it is to weaken that wall. Modern skincare has turned into a kind of chemical sport. More exfoliation, more acids, more actives, more steps, and somewhere in the glow chasing frenzy, the barrier gets lost. People often attack their skin in an honest attempt to fix it. They scrub because they see texture. They overload acids because they want brightness. They skip moisturizer because they fear oils, or because they've been told their skin is oily and therefore must not need hydration. All of this adds up to a stressed, weakened barrier that can't protect itself, which means redness, flakiness, burning sensations, breakouts that take forever to heal, and that tight, uncomfortable feeling after washing your face. Repair first, treat second. That's the golden rule almost nobody talks about. Strengthening the barrier doesn't require anything complicated. Ceramides, these are the waxy lipids your barrier is literally made of, help seal the wall back together. Squalane mimics your natural sebum and keeps moisture where it belongs. Hyaluronic acid pulls water into the skin, giving that plump, bouncy feel. And gentle plant oils like jojoba, raspberry seed, and rosehip nourish without clogging, offering nutrients that support long-term resilience. When the barrier is healthy, everything else works better. Treatments become effective instead of irritating. Breakouts heal faster. Redness fades. Skin stops feeling chaotic and starts behaving like it remembers its job again. And this matters because later on in the episode, your 7-day skin reset plan builds directly on this idea. Repairing the barrier becomes one of the quickest ways to see visible improvements in just a few days. With the fortress wall rebuilt, the next piece of the puzzle becomes much easier to understand. The role of food triggers, the ones that sneak under the radar and influence your skin far more than most people realize. Food isn't the universal villain it's often made out to be. People love to latch onto one ingredient and blame it for every breakout or flare, but the truth is softer and much more personal. Food doesn't cause skin problems for everyone, but it absolutely can pour gasoline on a fire that's already quietly burning beneath the surface. Some foods influence your body more indirectly than you might expect. Sugar, for instance, spikes insulin, and that hormonal surge can increase oil production and inflammation at the same time. Dairy interacts with hormones in its own way, which is why some people notice cystic acne appearing suspiciously after a cheese-heavy weekend. And those highly processed seed oils, corn, soybean, canola, tend to skew the body toward inflammation, which often shows up right across the cheeks, jawline, or forehead. None of this is about restriction or dieting. It's about becoming curious, almost like you're a scientist studying the ecosystems inside your own body. Everyone has their own pattern. Some people break out after cheese, but are totally fine with yogurt. Others notice gluten only affects them when stress is already high, and plenty of people experience skin changes around PMS when hormones are already dancing wildly, and a sugary snack suddenly has much bigger consequences than usual. Your skin is paying attention even when you aren't. It tracks every shift in your diet, every spike in stress hormones, every late night snack that doesn't sit well. The skin is honest to a fault. If something isn't working, it shows you. From here, there's another quiet player worth exploring: your stress hormones. and they might be influencing your skin far more than what's on your plate. Stress has a way of sneaking into places we don't expect, and the skin is one of its favorite hiding spots. Cortisol, the hormone your body releases anytime it senses pressure, urgency, or threat, has a surprisingly dramatic effect on the skin. It thickens sebum so pores clog more easily, slows down healing so any irritation lingers longer, and ramps inflammation up like someone turning a dimmer switch to full brightness. This is why breakouts often show up at the worst possible moment. A job interview, a family gathering, a stressful deadline. Nothing changed in your diet. Your skincare routine stayed the same. Yet suddenly your skin acts like it's been personally offended. That's cortisol pulling the strings behind the curtain. What's encouraging is how quickly the skin responds when the stress response cools down. A single calming practice can lower cortisol enough to make a visible difference within days. Breath work is one of the simplest examples. Extending your exhale sends a signal to the nervous system that says, the threat has passed. Journaling helps move thoughts out of the mind and into a space where they stop looping. Magnesium supports relaxation on a biochemical level, especially in the muscles and nervous system. Adaptogens like ashwagandha and holy basil help cushion the body from stress, smoothing out those hormonal spikes. And aromatherapy, one of our go-to tools, interacts with the limbic system in a way that's both fast and deeply soothing. Oils like lavender, vetiver, clary sage, and sandalwood help shift the stress response almost instantly. And that subtle shift often shows up in the skin just as quickly. When cortisol isn't running the show, inflammation eases, healing picks up, and your skin stops feeling like it's working against you. Once the internal stress quiets down, the outer symptoms finally have a chance to calm as well, and everything starts to feel a little more balanced. Next up is one more piece of the puzzle: natural botanicals that help the skin rebalance without stripping, burning, or overwhelming it. When bacteria start to overgrow on the skin, especially the well-known troublemaker C. acnes, your face can feel like a battleground you didn't sign up for. That bacterial imbalance doesn't always mean you're doing anything wrong. Sometimes it's the result of stress hormones, a weakened barrier, or even climate changes that make the skin more inviting to microbes. But once they multiply, they stir up inflammation, clog pores, and trigger a cycle of breakouts that's hard to interrupt. This is usually the point where people reach for the nuclear options: harsh benzoyl peroxide, stripping cleansers, aggressive spot treatments that burn before they work. And while those can be effective, they often come with a side effect you don't want: a damaged barrier that leaves your skin red, flaky, and even more sensitive. Nature, as it tends to do, offers gentler allies. Tea tree oil is one of the classics for a reason. It has antimicrobial properties that help calm bacterial activity without scorching the surrounding skin. Manuka honey is another quiet powerhouse. It fights bacteria while hydrating at the same time, something very few conventional treatments can claim. Thyme extract is surprisingly effective too, with studies showing strong antibacterial activity that rivals conventional acne treatments. Aloe vera brings soothing and anti-inflammatory effects to the mix, and green tea polyphenols help reduce redness and oil production while protecting the skin from oxidative stress. These botanicals don't behave like harsh chemicals. They don't strip your face, dry it out, or force it into submission. Instead, they help restore balance the way a healthy ecosystem naturally does when its conditions are right. When used correctly, these ingredients can reduce breakouts without compromising your barrier. The same barrier you've been learning how to protect and rebuild throughout this episode. A thin dab of Manuka honey on an inflamed pimple, a diluted tea tree spot treatment, a green tea infused toner, or an aloe based mask can all function as gentle reset buttons. They soothe instead of scorch, which is exactly what irritated skin needs. This is a great place to start experimenting in small, low-risk ways, trying one botanical at a time, testing a single spot treatment, and paying attention to how the skin responds. Small, consistent choices like these often create the biggest changes in the shortest amount of time. With the gut barrier, food patterns, stress hormones, and botanicals in place, you now have everything you need for a simple, doable reset. Next comes the part you've been waiting for: pulling it all together in a practical, customizable plan you can start immediately. By now, the pattern starts to reveal itself. Skin issues rarely arrive out of nowhere, and they're almost never as mysterious as they seem. They usually trace back to a handful of internal and external shifts happening all at once, a kind of domino effect that shows up on the surface. A gut that's inflamed or imbalanced sends signals through the immune system. A damaged barrier makes the skin more reactive than it needs to be. Hormone swings, especially around stress or monthly cycles, crank up oil production and inflammation. Certain foods pour accelerant onto the process. Microbial imbalance tips the skin's ecosystem out of harmony, and chronic stress ties the whole knot even tighter by keeping cortisol elevated. None of these factors operate alone. They stack, overlap, and feed each other. That's why treating only the outside or only the inside can feel like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. When you support both at the same time, progress becomes startlingly fast. Skin settles, redness fades, breakouts soften, and the whole system feels less chaotic. Your skin is not misbehaving, it's communicating. Every flare up, every dry patch, every breakout is information. When you start to see those signals as messages rather than problems, you gain an entirely new kind of control. You're not fighting your skin, you're supporting it. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for, the point where everything we've covered comes together into something simple, doable, and truly effective. Our simple, gentle roadmap that tackles all these root causes together in a way that fits easily into everyday life. This is the 7-day skin reset plan, created to calm inflammation, support your gut, repair your barrier, and ease the stress signals that keep your skin on high alert. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated, just 7 days of small changes that really add up. Days 1 and 2 are all about relief. Put every exfoliant on pause. No acids, no scrubs, no retinol. Give your skin the same mercy you'd give a sprained ankle. Instead, bring in a barrier repair moisturizer, something with ceramides or squalane. Pair that with one extra glass of water a day. Not a dramatic hydration overhaul, just a nudge. Day 3 and 4 start working with the gut. Add 1 serving of fermented food, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, miso, whatever feels accessible, and reduce refined sugar for 48 hours. This alone can lower inflammation enough that some people notice a difference by morning. Day 5 introduces your first botanical ally. Pick just one. Aloe if your skin is red or warm, green tea if it's oily or inflamed, or diluted tea tree if you're dealing with active breakouts. Keep it simple and observe. Day 6 shifts the focus to your internal world. Set aside an evening moment for a stress reset. Journal out the mental clutter. And finish with 10 minutes of slow breathing. Long exhales. Relax shoulders, letting your nervous system uncoil. Day 7 is your reflection day. No judgment, no pressure. Just take a moment to look at your skin and your body with curiosity. What changed? What softened? What flared? Patterns are easier to spot when you slow down enough to notice them. And with that, you've completed your reset, a full circle approach to your skin that respects the whole ecosystem inside you. Thank you for spending this time with me today on Green Earth Essentials. If you want to revisit anything we talked about or share it with someone who needs it, The full transcript of this episode is posted on my Substack at substack.com/@greenearthessentials, and you'll find links to all my socials there as well. Everything you need is in the episode description. If this episode supported you, I'd love for you to follow the show, share it with someone you care about, or leave a quick review. These small acts help more people discover the tools that help their skin and their well-being. And as always, we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore in the world of wellness, and I can't wait to share the next episode with you. Another deep dive that uncovers insights you won't usually hear and gives you practical ways to make a real difference in your daily life. The exploration continues. Until next time, this is Michelle Jackson signing off.